Johnson, a little editorializing there.
That's okay, I'll buy that.
Okay, gave Aaron Rodgers a huge compliment while watching him pick apart the Eagles in a blowout win on Sunday. Take a look at these tweets he sent out. Aaron Rodgers reminds me of my good friend and rival Larry Bird. Aaron and Larry have similar qualities. Both Aaron and Larry are great leaders. Both are competitive and, most importantly, make their teammates better, all while making it look easy. So the highest compliment I can give Aaron Rodgers, the best quarterback in the NFL, is to compare him to three-time NBA champion Larry Bird. Well, Aaron Rodgers, that bad man, as Stephen A. would say, responded.
It's pretty humbling. I loved watching that era. And, you know, late 80s and 90s basketball is like right up my alley. I mean, that's my area of knowledge and just love for that time in the game. So to be compared to Larry, who I know Magic has the utmost amount of respect for, is way too big of a compliment, and I really appreciate that from Magic.
It's the utmost compliment. He appreciates it from Magic. Where are you dug it already? I haven't even asked the question and you're pouting.
Well, ask it.
I cannot believe you.
Just ask the question so I can unleash.
I cannot believe him, Stephen A. Is it a fitting comparison?
Okay, let me first say something nice about Aaron
Rodgers. Say it
Rodgers.
nice, yes.
Aaron Rodgers handled that very well with great humility, Aaron. I was impressed with your reaction to what Magic tweeted about you on Sunday. God bless. Magic Johnson, I love you, and I'm so sorry to say this, but your opinion was a flat-out insult to the great Larry Bird. I know, Stephen A. Smith, you often call Aaron Rodgers that bad man. Larry Bird proved again and again to be a far, far badder man than Aaron Rodgers has even come close to yet proving. Maybe one day, 10 years from now, I'll sit back and say, you know what? Aaron Rodgers does compare with Larry Bird. But right now, that is a joke. And I love Magic. I'm with Kerry. He's the greatest point guard ever. I've ranked him as the second greatest player to Michael Jordan.
Yep.
But when it comes to tweeting, we have all seen instances that Magic can overreact. He can reach. He can knee-jerk, be prisoner of moments, such as Sunday's game, where he's reaching farther and farther. And obviously, he was one half of the greatest one-on-one individual rivalry in the history of sports. But Magic, I got to tell you, I think even your good friend Larry Bird would have been insulted by what you said on Sunday via Twitter. Can we just quickly look at the resumes here? We're talking about Larry Bird, who won 3 rings. He was MVP 3 straight years, not once, but 3 straight years. He had 2 finals MVPs. To me, he's all-time top 5. If not, if you want to argue, at least that most people would put him all-time top 10. Now, what has Aaron Rodgers done so far? That's all I'm asking is, what has he done? Stephen A. Smith, he won 1, let's count them, 1 Super Bowl, in which he was the MVP. He won 1 regular season MVP. God bless. That's pretty good. But it's not great. He's lost 3 out of 4 playoff games to make him overall in the playoffs 6-4. And the 1 win he's had in the playoffs since the Super Bowl was over Joe Webb's Minnesota Vikings. The quarterback was Joe Webb. Remember him?
I remember
of the
Joe.
Minnesota Vikings at Lambeau Field. Otherwise, he's lost 3 out of 4 playoff games since his 1 Super Bowl. And now you're saying he reminds you of Larry Bird? How? Why? Look, Larry Bird was one of, if not the greatest clutch shooter I ever saw. He is one of the greatest clutch playmakers I ever saw, and one of the greatest team leaders I ever saw. And you're going to compare Aaron's leadership or just the way his team responds to him? Okay, that's right over here, and Larry Bird's way up here. And again, someday might Aaron approach that? Someday, way down the line? Maybe, I'll give you that. But how could you leap to that conclusion? This, the Magic Johnson, who 2 weeks ago tweeted, I've got 4 early MVP candidates, and he throws out 4 names, including Wade and Bosch. And then the next tweet is, 15 more MVP early candidates. 15 more?
He loves the game.
Okay, I get it.
He loves the game.
Sometimes you get a little carried away on Twitter and you overreact. And in this case, I think it's don't hit send, as Coach Herm says. Just don't hit send on that one because it's offensive to me, and I think it would be offensive to the great Larry Bird. Thank you.
Exhausted. Stephen A., your turn.
Skip Bayless, I can see you through the screen. You're sitting down, right? You're sitting down, right, Skip?
Yes. I'm grounded.
Are you ready?
I'm holding down my chair. Yes.
Are you ready?
I know he is. Totally.
I completely agree with you.
I knew you were going to say that.
Thank you.
Knew it.
Aaron Magic Johnson overstepped his bounds.
Thank
You
you.
know how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. He's
do.
a bad man. He's a bad man. And I think from an individual talent perspective, I look at Aaron Rodgers the way Magic Johnson described as it pertains to his ability to throw the football, the talent that he exudes on the field. I certainly don't look at the Green Bay Packers and look at him as a cause for them losing. I think he's the best quarterback in football. I think when it's all said and done, Aaron Rodgers is going to be in the discussion as arguably the greatest quarterback in NFL history. With his skill set, the way he can write for that football, the accuracy with which he does it, I am just a huge, huge fan of Aaron Rodgers. But the resumes don't compare. Larry Bird is a 3-time NBA champion. Larry Bird was a 2-time NBA Finals MVP. Larry Bird was a closer of the highest order. You did not want the basketball in his hands because he was going to deliver the goods time and time again. We do have to take into consideration that basketball is an entirely different sport than football, that more parts, more components are needed in order for one to produce in a sport of football than it is in basketball. Larry Bird could shoot and put the ball in the hole himself. Aaron Rodgers can't throw the ball to himself. He can't protect himself. The offensive line's job is to do that. Receiver's job to catch the football. So we are talking about a different sport. But having said all of that, Magic Johnson had absolutely positively no reason whatsoever to compare Aaron Rodgers to Larry Bird. It's two different, completely different scenarios, not just because the sport is different, but because their resumes are different. I'm not going to get on Aaron Rodgers the way that you do, because last time I checked, Aaron Rodgers has won a Super Bowl more frequently than Peyton Manning or Tom Brady has. But to compare him to Larry Bird, that's beyond the pale. The great Irvin Magic Johnson, who we both love dearly, has engaged in some big-time hyperbole in that regard. You are absolutely 1,000% right, Skip, with your argument.
He calmed you down.
So, my friend, do you realize what you've done to me?
What?
You have killed me with kindness.
I know, he's so calm.
You have rendered me speechless. You have. I've got all this ammo.
I know,
I've got all this
ready.
ammo, and I'm starting to reach for it, and I'm like, it's over.
Stephen A.
He agreed.
I told you, I keep trying to tell you, I'm fair-minded, and I'm honest.
No,
I say
Stephen
what
A.
I feel.
Stephen A., he
I'm
was
not
ready.
going to sit there.
You
I'm
messed
not going
him
to
up.
sit there and take the only thing that I've done just to go against you, I could not allow myself to pick a Spurs team that I know is the best in the NBA because I couldn't agree with you. I just refuse to side with you until I absolutely have to.
All right,
but
Stephen
everything
A.
else,
this is going in the trash.
I'm down the middle.
It's cutting report because you had all the facts. You have the facts.
I had it
You
all.
had the facts.
They can't be disputed.
You had 2 pages.
And it's over.
Debate's over. Wait, quickly, Stephen A., you're pretty good with this. So, look, Larry Bird, who would be the NFL equivalent in your mind, just off the top of your head, of Larry Bird? And then I'll ask you too.
I think, to be quite honest with you, I think Tom Brady would be more of an appropriate comparison to Larry Bird than Aaron Rodgers because of the 3 Super Bowl rings that Tom Brady has had, the 5 trips to the Super Bowl in his career, the fact that continuously since he's been in the lineup, the worst record they've ever had with Tom Brady on the field has been 9-7, and that was just once. There was another time they went 11-5 without him when he got hurt in Game 1 of the season, and Matt Castle had to step in. Outside of that, Tom Brady primarily has had 12-4, 13-3 records, a few 11-5, a couple of 10-6 records, but he's been a double-digit winner throughout his career. That is reminiscent of what a healthy Larry Bird brought to the Boston Celtics in his years in the NBA.
He just did it to me again, Carrie.
Oh.
He just preemptively took away my answer. Now I have to agree with him because that's a very apt comparison. Tom Brady in Boston to Larry Bird, Boston.
Oh, nice.
But I still believe, talent-wise, that Aaron Rodgers is the best.
I tell you.
I'll give you that
You got
for
it.
a moment.
He killed you with kindness.
All this.
Throw all that away. We don't even need it anymore. I tell you where we're going right now, Steve.